the foundation of sales?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a repeat of what you said probably. But I really think, am I looking at the camera or am I looking at him? Okay. I mean, this is going to be kind of a rehash of what you said, Brigham, but I think sales is just connecting with another human being. Like the absolute underpinning, undergirding principle behind any form of ability to sell is just the ability to look someone in the eye, make a connection, and then you can talk about ideas, you can talk about selling a concept, a product, a service, whatever it is. But it all starts with people. Sky McIntosh taught me this. There's really two reasons people buy pest control. Number one is because they need pest control, and number two is because they like you. If they don't need pest control but they like you, they might buy. If they need pest control and they like you, they're going to buy. But if they need pest control but they don't like you, they're not going to buy.
For sure.
So them liking you is really actually the most important thing. And I think that's true beyond just, hey, trying to get a quick transaction. I think just in general that they won't like you until you like them first. Like it really starts with a genuine curiosity about other people and an interest in their lives and a desire to connect with them.
I love it. Yeah, you hit on the same exact things, except for I like yours a little bit better because that's honestly what it is, just connecting with people. Mine was just like keep a good attitude, just basically go out there, work hard. But if you can just figure out a way to have fun, to enjoy your job, like figure out a way to be happy, choose to be happy and not let circumstances dictate that. But I love just to connect with people. It's
Dude, and that's the biggest way I think that you keep it fun and that you keep a good attitude is genuinely, like, I actually believe that every day I actually have an opportunity and a gift for just making people's day better. I really truly believe that is a gift I have, that I can knock on someone's door and just kind of entertain them a little bit. Just make their day slightly better.
Yes.
But to me, I think, hey, that compounds. Like if you do that for 10,000 people over the course of a summer, that's pretty massive impact you can have on just humans in general. That to me keeps it fun because to me, I actually think very rarely about selling during the day. I think a lot more about just like, oh, like what's the surprise behind this advent calendar door? You know 100%. What I mean? Like what am I going to get this time? It's kind of like that. Yeah, it's kind of that thing you talk about. If like it's their habitat, it's almost like the zoo.
For sure.
Not that they're animals, but you know what I mean. It's like their habitat, their environment. You're trying to figure it out. You're kind of observing how they behave. To me, it's the same thing. Like it's a surprise behind every door. But beyond that, it's like I truly think that most people sitting at home aren't overwhelmingly like happy. They're all stressed about stuff. They've got stuff going on. So I actually think that I can really make a difference in their level of happiness that day. That to me is way more important than making money. Way more important.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's doors that you push hard, and there's doors that you probably just walk away because it's like, these people don't need it.
Yeah.
And it's okay to walk away and leave on a good note and keep good vibes. And sometimes I'll play the game of just kind of almost being aggressively happy at the doors.
Yeah.
Aggressively positive, where it's like, it keeps it as a challenge. Some people just get too caught up in the monotony of this job, and it's almost to the point where it's like, man, there's so many reasons to go out there and have a good time, you know? Think of them as their habitat, the surprise, all that stuff, man. It can be a really fun job sometimes.
Yeah, no, and I love doing that. Even people that don't want to buy. Like, dude, you ever show them a magic trick?
Oh, yeah.
Like someone's like, yeah, no, and they keep interrupting you, and you're like, okay, all right, listen, tuck the iPad. Probably not going to sell you today, am I? No, probably not. Okay, we'll check this out, though. And then
yeah. I love it. I love it, dude. Because
people love it. They have fun. And then I'm having fun. I'm happier. I go to the next door. I'm way more likely to sell that person.
They're not jumping on the Facebook page, calling you out. They're not calling the cops if you don't have your permit, which we get our permits for the record.
Correct. So. Yeah, but it keeps me in a good mood. It keeps me happy, which I think when you're selling from a place of scarcity emotionally, where you're like, oh, this sucks. Like, I hope I can get one. You're pretty unlikely to get one. But if you're coming from a place of like, this is so fun, dude. I'm just happy I'm here. I'm happy that I'm here. They're going to be happy I'm here because I'm happy.
Yeah.
And they'd rather interact with me than just like whoever because I'm happy and I'm in a good mood. And that just, dude, that energy, like the transfer of enthusiasm is so foundational. It's so key.
Yeah, it is. And once you forget it and you realize what you're doing wrong, you know, there's ways you can get back to it. And best advice I ever got is exactly kind of what Aubert was just saying, which is just go out there and have good conversations with people. Stop caring about getting a sale and just literally go out there and try to connect with people. And if you have to burn your first 3 doors, do it. You know, if you're that bad of a mindset, do not care at all if you get the deal. Just go out there and start knocking. And after the first no, just say, hey, it's okay. Aggressively be positive. Give them some genuine compliment. Go to the next door, do the same thing. And then once you get back your mentality, which is your vibe, and that just enjoyment of having people-to-people interactions. I mean, if you think about it, dude, every single person has a fingerprint, right? It's original. It's like every single there's one in, I don't know how many human beings are on the planet, but let's just say 8 billion. If there's 8 billion human beings on the planet, it's pretty remarkable that God somehow put you in front of this person in specific, and you're able to have this interaction with them. And, you know, so there's many different ways and tricks that you can put yourself in the right mentality. So it's not like if you're not there, you can't get there. You can use mental tricks to get there.
Absolutely. I'd add too on that if people were making a salary doing this job, like they were going to make money regardless, I think it would be easier for them to think of it that way. They're like, man, this is cool. And then like think about how special it is that they get to interact with all these people. The reason they don't is because they're so worried about money. Mm-hmm. But really, like, if you think about it, if you're positive all the time, you have fun interactions all the time, you just vibe with homeowners all the time, like, is there any world where you're not going to make sales? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, so long as you're at least like competent and able to sell, I mean, the reality is like the biggest thing that's killing your summer is you.
For sure. It's your mentality. I was just telling Brian about my first day and how I knew absolutely nothing about sales. I just had the basic outline, and I had to just basically decide that my number one goal today is to go out there and keep a good attitude and connect with people after every door, no matter what. And I ended up selling 6. Most of them didn't have signatures. Most of them didn't have payment on there. Yeah. And me and Chase had to go back to each one at like 9:30 at night just to make sure they were solid. But yeah, you don't have to be perfect with the tech. Obviously, that helps. But yeah, the foundational side, just like you were saying, is literally just going out there, connecting with people, helping them have a good day. That's a really good way to look at it. It's a challenge. It's like, how can I help these people today? Yeah. You know, there are people out there struggling. You know, I'm struggling. I know if I'm struggling, everybody's freaking struggling, dude. And, you know, and it's just good to be nice. It's good to be kind. And, yeah, they don't owe you. That's another thing. Well, I don't want to keep talking about this, but I mean, while we're on it, might as well. It's like, I can't stand the entitled reps that think these people owe them something. If they open the door and say hello, like, dude, be grateful. Yeah. I can't tell you how many people that I know are in there, they don't answer the door. Yeah. You know, it's like, just somehow figure out a way not to be entitled and just be grateful for everything. And that'll help a ton. Forgot where I was going with that, but that was one of the main things.
That's so facts. What are some other things you're trying to get content on, Brian? Any other topics?
YouTube video, essentially. Like, you could, like this that was really good. Honestly, we could have just posted that and be like just sales talk or like foundation talk with Aubert. That's really it, I think. But I want to hear from you too, because like we were trying to figure I was trying to figure out the question for it. Yeah. But it's like, so like do you believe that you have distractions when you're out there at all, or are you pretty like honed in, would you say?
Bro, I don't. I'm pretty locked in, to be honest.
So I was trying to figure out like when you do find yourself being distracted by like external, internal things, like how do you come back to like how do you come back and like get back on the path of like I gotta get it rolling. That makes sense. I'm trying to figure out the question.
Yeah, like.
Because like I want to say that a lot of these guys that go out there, right, the new guys, they're gonna be worried so much about. I guess you guys already answered it in here, but it's like all of them are gonna be worried about like money. Yeah. And then like some guys will literally slack off, right? Like no matter what. I'm assuming like 10% of guys will just like kind of like start at noon and like, they'll go to like 5, 6 maybe. Yeah. And then like they just do whatever they want for the rest of the time. So it's just like I'm trying to think of like the right question to ask right now.
I'll say that. I'll just add what I think is one of Aubert's strengths is that he is super good at eliminating distractions. Right.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I think with distractions, man, like, you got to keep in mind that the ability to be distracted is such a privilege, dude. Like it's such a luxury to have distractions, and I think people forget about that sometimes. Where, to me, dude, like eliminating distractions, a lot of it is a choice. Like, I'm not gonna have social on my phone. I'm not gonna pull out my phone, go on Instagram between
For
boys.
sure.
I'm not gonna do any of these things. And the reason for that is because dude, I just keep in mind it's really not given to everybody to do this. Like, I actually genuinely, like, deeply inside my cells feel so much gratitude that I found this.
For sure.
Where, like, I'm a super obsessive guy. I also love talking to people, but not, like, forever. I'm pretty introverted, so I just like kind of like a short connection and then kind of like moving on.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird trifecta of attributes. And so to me, I just feel such deep gratitude that I'm even in the position, like, on the field, in this arena to do it. That to me, like, I think of these distractions, and really, I think, like, it would be pretty silly for me to give up what could be just a great opportunity for me to advance my life to be, like, on TikTok or
Right.
like on Insta. Like, why would I do that? And I think guys and gals need to understand that at a pretty meta level. Like, you're actually sacrificing a lot by choosing to engage in distractions. Like, just cut them out.
Yeah.
Like, really go all in, lock in for one summer. Like, go all in, and just see how that changes your life.
100%. Well, you said it.
There's also a saying that says that 1 foot in, 1 foot out fills the heart and mind with doubt. Where actually, when you start to get distracted and allow yourself to kind of go in and out, dude, that just takes so much energy. It takes so much energy. It takes mental energy, and it totally takes away from your resolve and your determination to do what you're actually trying to do. Where for me, dude, it's like, if there's days where I'm starting to kind of, like, in my mind be like, I don't know, I turn my phone off. Just turn my phone off, put it in the pocket, and then it's like, I'm here. I have nothing else to do other than knock these doors. And the truth is, like, you can't hesitate on, oh, can I do this? Can I not do this? All that's gonna do is put you in a worse situation. The best thing to do at all times is just to keep working. That gives you a prayer of having success. That puts you in the conversation of, hey, can I actually succeed? If you're tuning in and out all the time, like, number one, you're costing yourself sales, where maybe you're kind of like trying to tune back in, and this would have been a homeowner that would have bought, but because your pitch isn't quite there, because you're not locked in mentally,
For sure.
now you lose it, and then you think, oh, this neighborhood sucks, no one's willing to buy. No, people were willing to buy, but you weren't there. To me, if I'm looking back at my summer and I wonder, like, oh, if I'd done a little bit more, would I have, like, done better this summer? The fear of regret, to me, haunts me. The idea of, oh, I could have done more at the end of the summer, I cannot live with that. I can't stomach that. And if that's you and that's how you feel too, cool, then lock in and just no more excuses.
Okay, so just to kind of back up on everything that he just said, because he some gold nuggets just happened. Number one, he has a why. His why is that he has seen this opportunity and seen what it can do for his life. He notices how his personality, everything matches up perfectly with it. And so he doesn't really have any desire for these distractions. And any distractions he has, he'll get rid of. And I'll give you a perfect example of a big distraction that I see, and this can correlate with just a lot of different ones that, people go through. But, like, for example, video games at night. It's probably the easiest one for me to say. If you go home after selling and you play NBA 2K, for example, and you do it every night, 9:30, you're jumping on with your boys playing NBA 2K. It is not the time that you spend playing video games that's hurting you. It's the fact that your last hour of knocking, you're thinking about, cool, I have only one more hour to knock. You're not obsessed. You've got other things in your life that you're excited about. You literally have to get rid of all of those things. And unfortunately, it sounds bad, but you almost have to take your brain before the summer to jail. You almost have to get rid of so many distractions that's your only option, is to be obsessed with selling and obsessed with your goal. But I think that's one of the unique traits about Aubert, is that he's able to do that at such a high level because he can see the opportunity, he can see the potential in what this is going to do for him in his life. But yeah, eliminating distractions is huge, and there's so many of them that you can do. But same concept with Instagram, same concept with social media. It's not the fact that you may be looking at it in between doors, it's the fact that you're not locked in.
You're too worried about someone else's grass to water yours.
Yeah. Dude, there's like, and I don't say this just to say this, like I really mean it. Like, it's probably one of the most common questions I get, and I'm sure you do too, of people that ask, like, what are you thinking about during the day? Like, what are you tracking? What are you thinking about between doors? Like, genuinely, I don't think there's one time in the summer that I think. I actually don't think at all. Like, I really don't. I don't think about anything else. I don't look forward to coming back and like recruiting in the off season. I don't look forward to anything. I'm just there. I'm doing the thing that I'm doing in
present moment.
Yeah.
Present.
And like, if you're not, and you're, going home playing 2K and stuff, you just don't want it that bad. Like, I truly, the reason I'm able to focus so much is because I really understand the big picture. That if I am mentally fully locked in and committed, and this is all I'm doing, this is all I'm thinking about, and I'm obsessed with it, that has a massive impact on my summer.
For sure.
There's
exponentially.
There's no way that you're like, you've sold what, 1,200 accounts in the summer. Like, you're not doing this thinking about a million different things. You're just not. And it's like, if you don't want to be that disciplined mentally, and you don't want it to be your whole life, and you don't want that to be the only thing you obsess over, cool, you're not going to succeed at the same level though. You're just not.
For sure.
That is the trade-off. There's a sacrifice to be made to succeed at a high level, and that sacrifice a lot of the time is just discipline.
Yep. No, you're right. Exponentially, you will sell better if you are obsessed. There's just no doubt about it in my mind. I can be 80% locked in and sell 4, 5, 6, 7 accounts. But if I'm 90, I don't know if there's a way to get to 100% every single day, because I'm always going to be distracted in some type of form or degree. But if I can do my best and I can try to be 95, 96, 97%, I'm selling 10, 15 accounts. Yeah. It's going to double. And it's not that much more increase on your output or input. I always get those two confused.
Yeah.
It's not that much more in your input, but I'm going to tell you, your output will exponentially be better.
Yeah.
And reps need to understand that, like, lock in.
Yeah, dude, and like, even at a micro, like more tactical level on the doors, I'm knocking a door. I'm kind of bouncing around because I'm antsy. I'm like, you either have to open or not, but like I got to keep moving. And so I knock and I'm just waiting. I wait to hear something, like maybe 15 seconds max. I knock again. If I'm not hearing something, I'm just out of there. And then if they want to like pull me like open and be like, oh, what's up? And I'm already walking away, cool, I'll walk back. But to me, it's like every 15 seconds matters. And so I don't have time even on the doors to be thinking about anything that happens.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not thinking, I'm only doing this thing.
Love it.
And
I love that.
The truth is, dude, like, that's to the point where on those big days, the 10, 15, 20 account days, like I get to my truck at the end of the day, and I honestly don't really know how many I got. Like, people ask, like, oh, I'm not tracking the leaderboards on those days, so I don't have time for that. I'm just selling. Like, I'm there talking to the next person, reading their body language. Like, I'm so hyper focused on it because it's worth it. It absolutely is worth it. And dude, if there's a way that I could like just transfer my passion about this to every rookie rep, or even an experienced rep that maybe hasn't fully seen their potential, if you could just do it the way I do it, with that level of obsession every day, I would bet my entire lifetime earnings that you probably double your summer.
For sure.
Like, whatever it is, if there's a way to like parallel path what your summer is versus if you do this, everyone doubles. There's just something that happens when your brain is like, no, I'm actually here to do this.
Yeah.
And this is happening.
And it all starts with a why.
Yeah.
You got to have that why.
The world, the universe just starts to yield more to you. It just does. When your willpower goes up, the output goes up.
I don't get moved at all. I don't think it's, whenever someone says, oh, I'm doing this because I want a car, or I want to be able to go spend as much money as I can on clothes and not think about it. that doesn't make me believe that they're going to do it. But when they say, hey, I had a coach, something funny, I actually saw this yesterday. Michael Jordan, his coach cut him from, everyone knows about that, right? His coach cut him from high school ball. He said after he retired that he kept that in the back of his head his entire career. That coach did one thing when he wasn't even a professional. He cut him. And Michael took that, and it fueled him to win 6 championships and a ton of freaking trophies and all that. Like, I don't even know all the awards Michael Jordan won, but it's incredible that he was able to use that as fuel for his entire career. And so anything like that gets personal, that's inside of someone, like that, those are things that I'm looking for, right? The internal, intrinsic wise. Those are the ones that are going to push you to do some crazy things, and it's not going to even you're not even going to think about it being work, So I would say that if you really want to become obsessed, you're going to have to figure out what your why is and understand why that's important. It has to be greater than the pain you're going to endure, because there's going to be some painful moments out there. Not every day's easy. You remember that why, though, it's a lot easier. You're going to keep going.